head into the Zoom room where we are talking to Tomas Manglona in the CNMI live in quarantine.
That's it. Good morning, Tomas.
Good morning. Yeah, just yesterday, as we reported, the new guidelines kick in tomorrow. So for those of us who arrived yesterday, or the flight that is the last flight arriving today, in effect for this mandatory quarantine, it's expected for us to be released early tomorrow, but we'll have to return for a 5th day of testing here at BAC. So lots of changes happening, big changes to the quarantine protocol here in the CNMI.
What's for breakfast this morning in quarantine, Tomas?
They had hash browns and eggs, and so that's what we all get around 6:30 in the morning. We get a big knock on the door, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's time." Yeah.
You want to go through some of those changes?
Yeah, and so one of the changes that this is going to be all based on your vaccination status and also the vaccination status of your household. So starting tomorrow, if you're vaccinated, and on the health declaration form, actually I filled it out just before I got here and it's already updated. So you put all of your contacts, and those are your close contacts in your household. And if you're vaccinated and people in your household are vaccinated, then you don't have to quarantine at all. But you do have to go through 5th-day testing. And then, of course, the other detail there is that if you're in the CNMI for less than 5 days, then it's your contacts have to get tested after you leave. And another update there too is that if you're fully vaccinated, but your household is not fully vaccinated, then you're going to have to quarantine for 5 days, just like I am here at the one of the government facilities. And then if you're unvaccinated, you have to quarantine for 7 days. But regardless if you test positive during any of those tests, you're going to be isolated at the government facility for an additional 10 days. And something that was discussed by the CNMI governor and the COVID-19 task force chair, Warren Villagomez, and the CEO of the hospital, Esther Muña, was that they are doing this in part because they want to start directing more resources to doing all of the testing outside of the border, 1st day and 5th day testing. They want to start testing in a more strategic way is what they're calling it. So that's the latest with the quarantine protocol here. And just overnight, we got 9 more cases found through surveillance testing. And as we've been reporting, about 100 cases since October 28, and only 9 cases from travel testing around that same time. And so we're seeing now that maybe the concern is not so much here at the border, but the spread that is happening in the community. And Bree and Chris, just wanted to shift gears a little bit too, because yesterday the House Speaker did send a letter to the CNMI Attorney General certifying and requesting the prosecution of the CNMI Governor's Executive Assistant, Francis De La Cruz. As we reported yesterday, the CNMI House Committee that is probing into the governor's spending and travel held her in contempt after she did appear in person. Of course, we have to also put this in context and remind everyone that she did submit a written affidavit, and that prior to that, her attorney and the government's attorney also said that she had executive privilege and testimonial immunity. And she appeared yesterday, and as we reported in that story, she reread a statement stating why she objects to the subpoenas. And ultimately, the committee voted to hold her in contempt, and the House Speaker went and moved ahead on sending that over to the Attorney General. And we did confirm the Attorney General received that late yesterday, and it's yet to be seen if how he'll move forward with this. And so today, the JGO committee will be having more people testify, and tomorrow, Will Castro, former Senator Will Castro, who is the Chief of Staff for the Governor, is scheduled to testify as well. It's unclear if he'll also invoke testimonial immunity tomorrow.
Wow, that's a lot going on. Well, thanks, Tomas.
Yes, and I believe we also wanted to share some of our responses from our daily question that we received over the past few days. going to start with the question we asked about addressing
the high rate of diabetes on island.
Yes, and so one of the first comments there we got from Sarah is she says it would be cool if along with lunch break there was an exercise break. Use some of the federal money and provide gyms for government agencies. Fill fridges with fruits, yogurt, meal preps from local companies. Build safer covered walkways and bike lanes. More outside activities so kids can get out and get active. On our Instagram page, another commenter writing, offer free health classes and give incentives for attending those classes. Incentives could be discounts, coupons, free food, gas miles, etc. Give more incentives when they take a routine exam to see if their results improved. And so we got a few comments throughout our Facebook page about that, and we'll be sharing more throughout the week. And another question we asked was, what methods have worked for you to maintain a healthy diet and active lifestyle? This response got a few really personal responses too. People sharing that they attend their kids' sporting events. It's what helped them stay in shape. Someone says that they've been plant-based vegan and having at least 1 hour of physical activity every day. And someone just says laying off the carbs and sodium. So bring Chris in line with the week-long campaign. Lots of reviewers excited to hear more from the experts, and we'll continue to ask those questions throughout the week as well.
Thank you, Tomas.
Thanks, Tomas.
Right on. Feel for that plant-based vegan. It's very different from the animal-based ones, right?
Yes. We got a lot of views too about that, Chris. So if you want to take a look at what people are talking about, go over to our social media pages.
I will, Tomas. Thank you.
All right, Tomas. We'll talk soon.
There you go, Tomas Manglona from the KUAM News team. Back to you, Sabrina.
Live in Saipan. Managing a chain of restaurants with hundreds of employees is tough enough. Now throw in a project where over $1 million have already been invested, only to be paused by the pandemic. Now that's a